Hello everyone, I am Madeline from grade 10, and I am here to call for the end of the unlawful detention of Rohingya refugees happening in Bangladesh. Those who have the right to ask questions and also have a home are living human beings. Those who just have a home but can't ask questions are living but as though they are dead. Those who can ask questions but are without a home are refugees. These are Soyadola's words. Soyadola was an 11th grader when he fled his hometown of Butidong Township, northern Arakan state of Myanmar, to save himself from dying, as he describes. To him, being a refugee is a legal way of seeking a living life. Soyadola, however, was one of the luckier Rohingyas, as the discrimination didn't threaten his life. In many other Rohingya residing villages of Myanmar, houses were burnt and lives were brutally taken away. Now, briefly introducing the big picture. The Rohingyas is an ethnically Muslim minority group from Myanmar, which is predominantly a Buddhist nation. Over the past decades, they've experienced persecution in the forms of denied citizenship and basic legal rights. The largest wave of attacks occurred in 2017, when mass-scale violence, armed attacks, and serious human rights violations forced hundreds of thousands of Rohingyas to flee their hometown. Many of them walked for days through jungles, or undertook serious and dangerous sea journeys across the Bay of Bengal to seek refuge in neighboring nations such as Malaysia, Bangladesh, or Indonesia. Yet, situations in the refugee camps are dangerous and often difficult. Kutupalong, located in coastal Cox's Bazar district of Bangladesh, is by far the largest refugee camp in the world. Home to over 800,000 Rohingya refugees, this refugee camp is considered a mega camp. Now exceeding its capacity, it is experiencing frequent disasters. Already 2 fires have been set off within the past year. Unfortunately, the refugee camps are often the best option available for the Rohingya refugees. Camps are never the ideal solution, but they are the best option available, and they are the only place where families can connect, children can grow, and most importantly, where all Rohingyas can call home. Now, an even more concerning problem has arisen. Local governments are now refusing to accept refugees anymore and are illegally detaining them. This means that the governments are not willing to devote much support than before for the benefits of their own progression. Bangladesh, the country with the most displaced Rohingya refugees, has been increasingly putting effort on relocating this large group out of its mainland borders and onto a small prison island named Bhasan Char. As of May 2022, over 28,000 Rohingya refugees have been moved there. And in the near future, they plan to move a total of 100,000 Rohingya refugees onto Bhasan Char. Now, being very straightforward here, this is unacceptable. If all Rohingyas were moved to Bhasan Char, resources like food and water would run out rapidly. Without guidance and restriction, violence will gradually erupt. Without sufficient health infrastructure, the contagious diseases that the Rohingyas already carry will wipe through the entire population. And without proper education, Rohingya children will never learn their fundamental lessons. Although Bangladeshi officials have repeatedly described Bhasan as a paradise, geographical data have proven them wrong. Only built of 2 meters of silt above sea level, Bhasan is extremely vulnerable to floods and cyclones. Bangladeshi's actions present no difference to simply abandoning a populated group and ending the unlawful detention of Rohingya refugees will directly solve this problem, as the Rohingyas will get to stay in the camps and receive international aid like they've been used to. In contrast, on the other side of the world, Canada has performed to us the ideal and expected attitude of accepting incoming refugees. All incoming safety seekers are welcomed with one of 3 aid programs: the Refugee Assistance Plan, the privately sponsored refugees, and the blended visa office referred. The privately sponsored refugees in particular is a citizen-led aid program supporting incoming Syrian refugees. This shows that Canada has an interconnected sponsorship web, as small as an ordinary citizen and as large as the United Nations. This nation emphasizes the fact that everyone takes part, which not only reduces the stress pressured on governments with dealing the refugee issue, but it also reduces the complaints made by citizens. This same attitude should be applied in Bangladesh, instead of Bangladeshi officials feeling behooved to simply move the refugees out of their way when they just seem too disturbing. Welcoming refugees into society has been done, as we saw in Canada's case, and should be done in Bangladesh too. In fact, Bangladesh is even more applicable to this plan than Canada, and here are the reasons. Firstly, as one of the most followed refugee groups in the world, the calls for a humane solution are high. If Bangladesh launches such plans, it will immediately receive mass support. In addition, globally, NGOs have devoted much of their men and supplies onto dealing with the Rohingya refugee issue. Therefore, Bangladesh is not alone on encountering this problem. Just as previously mentioned, everyone takes part. Of course, as the host country, Bangladesh does experience some mess when this continuously expanding population just seems to be taking up a portion of its land permanently. However, if monitored well, having refugees in a country can be a beneficial factor to its society. By opening job opportunities to them, social integration can be achieved. This means that the Rohingyas have fully blended into the local society and are bringing a more diverse working force in. Instead of dumping Rohingyas on a flooded island, the government should be seeking immediate donor support to improve existing conditions of the refugees. Brad Adams, Asian Director of the Refugee Program, said, "The decision to relocate Rohingya refugees shouldn't be merely made by the Bangladeshi government. All the organizations and NGOs that overlooks this issue should be involved. Let's stop the unlawful detention of the Rohingya refugees. This issue can be accomplished and should be accomplished. I am Madeline from Britain, and I speak for the end of the unlawful detention of Rohingya refugees. Thank you.